You think you know keyboards, but what if the very essence of the press was different? Not pushed, but induced. What I have in front of me today is a keyboard that uses completely novel technology, magnetic induction, and is designed to give you inhuman movement in video games. Today, we'll explore this keyboard's features and functions, as well as do a satisfying sound test. But crucially, make sure you watch until the end, because I'll reveal one critical thing about these switches that you must absolutely understand, a potential deal breaker, before you even think about adding this keyboard to your setup. Let's start by getting the main physical features out of the way. The keyboard features a TKL layout sporting standard cherry profile PBT keycaps. The keyboard itself is constructed fully out of aluminum, giving it a premium, hefty feel. Unlike most of other Epomaker's keyboards, this keyboard does not have any wireless capabilities, which does reduce its portability use cases. But at 1,820 grams, I highly doubt it's something you want to carry around in the first place. The keyboard has one port that hosts a USB-C connection that runs on an 8K polling rate. As for lighting, the Magcore does have southern-facing RGB lighting that actually feels a lot brighter than most keyboards that I have used. Something that I appreciate about this keyboard is that despite being tailored heavily towards gamers, Epomaker didn't skimp out on the acoustics. When dissected apart, we can see 3 layers of sound customization: a layer of silicone sandwich foam, an IXPE switch pad, and an EVA foam layer. Now, normally this is the part where I talk about the switches, but because these switches aren't your regular switches, we'll come back to them after the sound test. The switches that play a role in this clacky sound profile are these Kale inductive switches, and these switches are the main selling point behind this keyboard. So, what are inductive switches? To give a brief summary, regular switches utilize impact, aka the switch bottoming out, to send out the signal for a key press. Inductive switches, on the other hand, use metal to detect any changes to the electromagnetic field to send out the signal for the key press. What does this mean? This means that you don't have to bottom out the key for it to register, and that essentially enables this keyboard to be a customization machine. These customizations can be grouped into 3 categories: keystroke depth, snap tap, and release. Keystroke depth customizations enable you to register different keys or actions depending on how deep you press a key. So, for example, with the D key, I can get the keyboard to start registering the press the moment the key starts going down. Additionally, I can register a different key, like the A key, once the D key gets pressed halfway down. There are a total of 3 different key press depths that can be customized. Next up, snap tap. This is a term originally coined by the Razer Hall Effect keyboard. It's a feature that enables you to override a keystroke against the current key being pressed. So, for example, if I'm strafing with A, normally I have to release A and press D to go the other direction. But with snap tap, I don't have to release A, as pressing D forces an override of the A key that's still being held down. And finally, the release customization, which enables you to choose any key to actuate upon the release of a key. Continuing the AD example, I can press A to actuate A, and once I fully release A, it will actuate D for a split second. And the crazy thing is, these customizations can be done with any key, making this a keyboard that can do anything. Okay, this keyboard seems pretty damn great. It's got a satisfying sound profile and it has some next level customization features. So everyone should get this keyboard, right? Well, no. And the reason why? Because this keyboard is niche. Too niche. The only really good use case for this keyboard is gaming. But not just any games either, only FPS games where movement directly impacts your millisecond timing performance. And even then, many games like Counter-Strike have already implemented bans for players that use keyboards like the Magcore. Essentially, there's no way to get the full value out of this keyboard. Creatively, I could see this keyboard being used for multi-step actions while video editing, but it would be super difficult to apply on a practicality basis, and macro boards are much better suited for that activity. I'd personally recommend that the $200 that could be spent on this keyboard be invested in a board that has more features on the physical build or sound acoustics. Epomaker still has a ton of other keyboards that are super well made in that department. I just think that the market for this keyboard is unfortunately way too small and just isn't worth it unless you simply want the novelty of owning a magnetic keyboard. All in all, this keyboard is really cool keyboard conceptually, but limited in application. But it was still super fun to mess around with and create this tech film to show you guys something new to the world. I hope you enjoyed the cinematic experience, and please like and subscribe to support this growing tech channel that promises to deliver high quality tech content. As always, thanks for watching, and see you in the next film.